Hey, everybody, I am with Darren Miles, and we are sitting in our isolated location, staying away from everyone. So we thought, you know what? What a better time than to talk to one another via our phone conference Zoom call here and introduce each other to each other's people, our sphere of influence that we're around. So thanks for being on the call with me for a little bit. Tell everybody that's going to be watching this who you are, where you're at, what are you doing, and what's your business?
Sure. My name is Darren Miles. I currently run Darren Miles Photography, and I've started a new venture called Boutique Imagery and Video, which is focused more on real estate agents and realtors like yourself, John. As you know, we're kind of heading into this new virtual era. Suddenly everybody wants to do everything online, but transactions are still happening, and there's still a need to push out virtual type showings for potential clients, especially in your business.
Yeah, definitely. So, I mean, really, you're jumping into this. You're continuing with the virtual stuff, but you're kind of adding to it, from what I understand. Right? So you
Yeah.
added some new tools, some new safety precautions, some different things like that. Not just for the realtor, but also for the buyer. Right? Explain that a little bit more. What does that look like for them?
Sure. Well, two things. Number one, I'm carrying hand sanitizer with me everywhere, which is, I'm sure, it's probably a safety precaution that everybody should be taking right now. But the big thing, when I schedule to go shoot a property, a couple of things. Usually, the clients want to make sure it's vacated. They don't want to necessarily get in contact with me, and I don't necessarily want to get in contact with them. I will bring the necessary sanitary items, not napkins, gloves. I don't have a mask yet. They're still hard to come by, the N95s, but gloves, hopefully a mask here shortly. And the two new things, in addition to photos have kind of been a given in this business for the last 15 or 20 years. But what's really new now is these cinematic videos and 360-degree tours that are being accomplished with these great 360-degree cameras, in addition to some really great online software that allows you to literally walk through the home virtually. You press a dot and it takes you to that place in the house. And then you can look around with your cursor. It's a really neat new technology that's really starting to take off now. And even though the technology's been out there for a little while, but suddenly it's taken on a whole new significance. And the companies that are doing it quickly and efficiently, are getting ahead, especially in this trying time that we're in right now.
Aaron, is that different than what people were using or still use, like a Matterport? What's the difference between the Matterport and that you just showed us?
That's a great question. This is actually more economical and a lot faster. And what I mean by that is I can get in and out of a home in 20 to 30 minutes, whereas usually with the Matterport type system, it's actually been a little bit of a business problem because as cool as that platform is, there's really two things. One, the user interface for most clients isn't all that easy. A lot of folks still have a really hard time figuring it out, which is why a lot of agents and a lot of sellers prefer a video tour where all you have to do is press play. It doesn't get any easier. It's like watching a DVD. It's really simple. The 360 tours, the new ones, are more of a combination of like video and Matterport. They're just easier and more obvious to use. It's hard to explain without showing you a visual representation side by side. But these 360-degree tours, the dots are obvious. You click on it, and then you just kind of drag around. You can look up, down, what kind of appliance set. You can do a full circle in the room virtually, and it's just a neat, cool, fast software. It's like a Matterport Lite that offers about 95% of the features for about half the cost. It can be done twice as fast.
That's awesome. So the processing time's quicker than what it would have been with Matterport. And I think also, you tell me if I'm wrong here, with that device and what you offer, I think with Matterport, you were a little limited on how far up and how far down you could look. With that, not only can you go around like this, you probably can like look at the ceiling, right?
It's 360 degrees. If you remember, like 15 years ago, 20 years ago, there was another program out there called Circle Pix. It's kind of like Circle Pix, but Circle Pix just it was one room at a time. This allows you to move through the home and do the 360 simultaneously. It's a really cool hybrid between technology, literally from 15 years ago, and Matterport. It's kind of in between the two of them. I just find it easier to use and much easier to navigate.
Yeah, that's awesome. And I can't remember if you said at the beginning. I want to jump back just a little bit. You're here in Southwest Florida. Where's a lot of your business has been in the past and going forward?
Sure. Well, technically, I cover all the way from Sanibel Island down to Marco Island, technically. The reality is the majority of what I do is typically in North Naples and in Bonita Springs. Those are my two really big areas. But I do go as far down as Old Naples. I do a lot in Pelican Bay. Pretty much, I would just say the whole of Southwest Florida.
Yeah, that's awesome. And it's a big area, and there's a lot of homes around here. and I've seen a lot of your videos, and maybe you could even post the link or send us a link. We'll add it to this video, and with some of the pictures and videos that you do, especially with that apparatus that you just had there. What's that thing called again?
This is called it's a 360-degree camera. It has a lens on both sides. It's a fisheye lens, but the way the computers and the processors work, it takes like this circular photo, but then the software flattens it out and then combines them. So you're standing in the middle of a circle that's been proportioned out and leveled out so it feels angular. It doesn't feel round. It's like a big fisheye that gets flattened. It's I'm trying to imagine like a roll of dough. It takes a picture of a roll of dough, but then when you flatten it out and massage it, you can make a pizza on it. It's kind of like that. It's probably the best way I can describe it.
That's cool. Now, another part of your business that I know from personal experience, because you've helped me with my real estate pictures and you've helped me with my family pictures. I know you're probably not doing a ton of real estate pictures right now in regards to portraits and things that are family pictures, but talk a little bit about what you have done with that in the past and what that's going to look like when all this stuff frees up and everybody's feeling better.
Hopefully it'll be going like gangbusters in like the next 30 to 60 days. What I can tell you is I have been doing some portraits during the whole COVID thing, but the clients that I'm working with are very cautious. The beauty of portraiture is I don't have to be right next to you to take your picture. I can be 10 or 15 feet away and be at a safe distance. We obviously clean up and sanitize the door handles, anything that anybody touches during a shoot, and then obviously before and after the shoot as well. So, but it's that portion of my business is not dead. But it's this with the whole COVID thing. I'll admit it's definitely on life support, but it's not dead. So, but it's and I've gotten a lot of calls, folks saying they have to reschedule and they're fully intending on rescheduling, but it's unclear when all this is actually going to happen. Yeah. So hopefully soon.
Everybody's got their distancing right now, and I can tell you from personal experience, you can see this picture here. Darren makes me look good, and then Lisa, she's on our team. Darren, Tyler's picture as well too, and did a fantastic job with making us look beautiful. So thank you for your portrait work there. Appreciate it. And last but not least, anything else with your business right now, Darren, that you've seen kind of transition in regards to photography, videography, anything that, people like mine should be aware of? And maybe also you talk a little bit too about, I just thought of this, connecting with other commercial businesses. Like we've talked a lot about real estate homes, but how about like helping commercial people maybe take pictures of their vans or their vehicles, their drones, because you do drones as well too.
Sure, I do. I think one of the important things too, just really quickly, since you mentioned it, if you do work with somebody that has a drone, make sure they're licensed and insured. It's very easy to buy a drone at Best Buy and fly it. If you get caught or if that ever comes up, be careful because the FAA does issue some pretty stiff fines to the people using the images if they were obtained by somebody who took them without a license. Just be aware of that. But as far as like big trends right now, I've gotten more phone calls in the last 2 weeks since this whole COVID thing came down, pun intended. But it's been the last 2 weeks. One of the things I've gotten more of is phone calls saying, hey, I've seen some of your videos. How much are those? And are you doing them right now? Can you schedule one right now? Because that seems to be the best way to do a virtual showing. As cool as the 360-degree tours are, and as cool as Matterport is, the easiest way in or the lowest barrier of entry is a video where a potential viewer, all they have to do is press play. And that seems to be the path of least resistance for most real estate agents. That's what they want to see. And that's where most of my phone calls are coming. And throughout this whole COVID thing, I currently have 3 videos scheduled between now and the 21st of April. So there are definitely some of that going on. And I've gotten lots of requests from agents specifically about video because it will help them help sell homes. Because homes are still being sold right now. I'm sure you're aware of this. The transactions are still happening. It's not completely dead out there in real estate. So for now, we have to keep it up virtually. And the path of least resistance to do that is, in fact, a video.
Yeah, well said. I talked with a title company in town just yesterday, asked them about transactions and things coming in, and they have the best pulse on the market because they're hearing and seeing contracts come into their office daily or lack thereof, and they said they're just as busy as they were even a month ago. So that was encouraging to hear from a big title company here in Southwest Florida. Last thing I want, Darren, before we get off this call today, could you tell everybody where to find you, your website? Your logo on your shirt's a little hard to read. It's too small with your website. But if you could tell everybody your website, your phone number, and maybe an email address, they can reach out to you.
Absolutely. I technically have 2 websites. The second website isn't active yet. The website's almost done. I've been going back and forth with my web people, and that should be done in the next day or 2. In the interim, you can reach me at www.darrenmiles.com. That's DARRENMILES. Phone number is area code 239-287-7372. And the new website will be called Boutique Imagery. And those two websites will actually link to one another. So if you press architecture on the boutique, on the Darren Miles website, it'll take you to the Boutique Imagery website. And if you click on people or portraits, it'll take you to the Darren Miles website on the other. So they will be interconnected that way.
Awesome. Appreciate you chatting with me here for a little bit today. I can tell you're home because I can hear either your wife, your dog, or some
or all the above. And everybody's home because nobody's leaving the house, right?
Nobody's leaving the house. Well, thanks for taking a few minutes and chatting with me today. I look forward to getting you in front of everybody, and I hope you have an awesome day. Stay safe. Keep washing your hands.
Absolutely. And John, thank you so much for having me. And I'm so glad we had the opportunity to do this. So thanks, man.
All right, buddy. Have a great one. Glad talking with you. Have a great week.
Thanks, John. You too.